All right, it's time for some love in the morning. Now, today we're digging into conflict. It's part of any relationship, whether it's marriage, friendship, or between coworkers. It's not between us, though. No.
Well, many people often try to avoid arguments in the first place, but sometimes it's inevitable, and sometimes avoiding that conflict can kind of backfire. So joining us now with some tips on how to best navigate conflict in our relationships is certified marriage and relationship coach Jennifer Blancool. Good morning.
Good morning, Emily and Travis. Thanks for having me again.
Great to see you.
Thanks for being here. Great topic, right? Because everyone, no matter what relationship you're in, you are going to encounter conflict in your lives. How do we deal with it the right way?
Absolutely. So I think when we humanly focus on the loss or the risk of conflict rather than all the gain, we hijack ourselves and our actions towards conflict. So, if you want to get into the data, there's all sorts of data and science around the benefits of conflict. And conflict, when it's navigated well in a relationship, can actually lead to a much more joyful and fulfilling relationship.
Okay.
I'll tell you something that drives me nuts. When people say, oh, you know what, we don't fight, we're fine. We never fight. It drives me insane because to me, I can't help, my brain goes instantly to a great friendship. But if we're talking about a love relationship, you're barely scratching the surface if you're not able to have any conflict. I really feel like conflict allows us to be our authentic selves more too. If we're not saying things that could lead to conflict, it's hard for me not to assume that there's things being stuffed down or buried or kept under the rug.
What's an example of this conflict? Because I feel like it's as different than, maybe like two different belief systems necessarily, or maybe it's something more just like, I wish you put the dishes away. Like, what are we saying here when we say conflict?
Great question. So a conflict is any time we have an opposing view of the person that we're dealing with, and that leads to heated emotions or upset or anger. So I wouldn't say conflict is just merely having opposing views, but when that leads to more negative mindset or more emotional hijacking, and that leads people to not be able to talk about it, or now they're upset with each other.
Well, I guess it's kind of, to Travis's point, all of the above. It could be something as big as being on opposite sides of a political spectrum. It could be something as little as you never take the trash out, and over time, that builds up some of that resentment and that emotion that can come with it.
Absolutely. I mean, to your point, Emily, even the smallest of arguments, like you left your sock on the floor. I mean, over time, that could have the same weight and impact inside that a more significant argument, like politics or religion or something like that.
So you said to, instead of focusing on the loss, focus on the gain. What do you mean by that?
So when we're able to have conflict, we get the juicy world of what we really do want and what we really don't want. And so without conflict, I feel like, we can keep the peace, we can keep the waters calm, but we're not really getting to the depth of understanding each other and also, understanding ourselves. I mean, we learn a lot about ourselves when we're able to engage with opposing views and other people in conflict in a healthy way. And when I say conflict, I don't think conflict is negative. I don't think the word conflict is negative. I think we can have good conflict, and I think we can have really horrific conflict. And there's a whole spectrum there. So
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that in a healthy way does not include, blowing up and screaming at your spouse or letting things boil over emotionally.
Absolutely. Our emotional state is everything. Our emotional state pretty much dictates our outcome on everything we're doing and thinking. And so, being able to check in with where are we emotionally before we gauge in a conversation that could be either a good or bad conflict or anywhere in between. It's amazing how a little space and time can soothe emotions and lead to a different approach in your conflict. It's also amazing, I just had this happen yesterday, where when you don't have the chance to talk to the person and you have time to cool off, that the conflict in itself transforms. So, with that said, I will admit, I think it's human that it takes effort and consciousness to do this, but not necessarily having a talk or a conversation that could lead to conflict in any given moment. Being intentional about, should we have this conversation tonight? Should we have it tomorrow? Should we have it in a week?
Yeah.
Because, I think it's extremely human to want to do it now. That's our
Yeah.
human default.
Yeah.
But that can also be the thing that hijacks us.
You tell us that all the time, where it's like, hey, this is a great issue that you've brought to us, that you're having with your partner. Choose the right time to have that conversation when it's not emotionally charged. The other thing I was talking about with a friend the other day, in kind of approaching a conversation with someone where instead of assuming the worst intent from the other person, assume the best intent from the other person.
Absolutely.
Like, we're so quick sometimes to dismiss, like, oh, someone's doing something that I don't like, or they said something that I didn't like, and you're so quick to think that it's because they're trying to get back at me, or because they don't like me, or this or that. But take a minute to try and put yourself, to your point of like the empathy, like put yourself in that other person's shoes and
Absolutely.
try to lead from a place of understanding.
Amen
just
to that.
to make it like, an easier conversation to have.
Right. Yeah. Very well said, Emily. I mean, when you go into a conflict, and also this takes a lot of human consciousness and attention.
Yeah.
When you go in from a mindset of, how do I better understand this other person's viewpoint? How do I better understand what's going on here versus how do I win? And I think, to be honest, humanly, we want to win. So our brains can go very humanly into that space of, how do I win this argument? How do I convince this person of my narrative or my side so that I come out winning? I think that's kind of our default. But, to be intentional about shifting that mindset to, how can I better understand here? And I love this powerful strategy that you can just put in your back pocket and pull out anytime. It especially works when you have no idea what else to say. If you can just ask the other person, what do you need right now? What do you need from this conflict? It's amazing what that question can do to a brain.
Interesting.
Multiple different ways to approach it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have the issue, and then it's not a one size fits all situation. You have to kind of gauge each moment case by case.
I'm going to use that. What do you need right now?
Yeah.
Gosh, did we just solve world peace? I feel
I felt like I just spewed out a bunch of stuff. But
Apparently, I thought I was always right. I thought winning the argument, that's all I had to say. Is like, I'm normally right, and then I just leave the room. No, Jen, it's always great to talk to you. Really appreciate
it's
it
awesome
as
to
always.
be here. Thanks for having me, Lisa.
Of course,
so much,
of
Jen.
course. All right, and if you have a question for Coach Jen, send us a message right now on the KOIN News AM Extra Facebook or Instagram pages. Your question may be answered right here on the show, and you can remain anonymous, Emily.
Slide into those DMs.
All right.
And we'll answer your question here on the show.
There you go.